let me tell you a little bit about Centerpointe. We've been in the co-occurring rehabilitation and treatment services for about 35 years. They started out as Lincoln Lancaster Drug Project and became Centerpointe sometime in the mid-90s, I think. Originally started off as substance abuse treatment for kids and adults, and started to identify that oftentimes substance use issues go hand in hand with people who have serious mental illness, and Centerpointe sort of switched their focus in the mid-80s to working with people who had co-occurring mental health and substance use issues. And that's about 90% of the people that we serve at Centerpointe. We also deal primarily with homeless and indigent populations. The underserved folks who live here in Lincoln are probably the majority of our recipients of service. We have a broad continuum of care at Centerpointe. We start sort of on the deeper end of the pool, if you will, with folks who need a residential level of care. We deal with adult residential services on a long-term basis. Folks are in that program for 6 to 8 months. The consumers that we serve in our residential program have a severe and persistent mental illness diagnosis and an addiction or substance use diagnosis as well. They are also homeless at the point of admission into that program. And that program is really designed to help people get back on their feet and get back into the community and able to function at some productive level, whatever works for them. Beyond our residential treatment, we also have a substance treatment program called Touchstone that we do in collaboration with an organization called Houses of Hope. It's also an adult program for 18 and older. And I think, it's important for me to point out initially that in the state of Nebraska, 18 is not yet the age of majority, so 19 is. But we serve kids, so we still consider them kids if they're 18 in our adult programs, which isn't always the best option for kids who are 18 to be in a program with a 45-year-old, but because there is no kid system right now, it's the best we can offer them. So our programs are open for 18 and older in our adult programs. We offer outpatient therapy, community support, case management services. We have a huge array of housing services that we provide adults. We have a day rehabilitation program for folks who've come out of treatment or out of other programs who aren't quite ready to fully integrate into the community and need a little more extra support. We have a youth intensive outpatient program, youth outpatient counseling services, and we just started the program that we're most excited about is called Transitions. It's for that transition age youth group, folks your age in that 19 to 24 demographic who have aged out of other services and are homeless, need attention, need case management services, need somewhere to go. They were state wards or they've been living on the streets since they became the age of majority and need services. And so we just started Transitions. It's a scattered site housing program for that 19 to 24-year-old demographic. We get them engaged in counseling services or get them involved in other, med management because most of the folks we deal with have a mental illness diagnosis. They're on medication, so we try to get them engaged in med management, get them on some meds, get them housed, and try to get them the resources and services that they need. We have lots of other sort of step-down services. We offer recovery support case management. This is a really low-level folks with disability due to their mental illness who live in a Section 8 or an 811 HUD project. We provide sort of monthly check-ins. They're a lot more stable and farther along in their recovery from both their mental illness and their addiction issues, so they're able to sort of function on a much lower level but still need support because they are on the lifelong journey of recovery from their illness. So, and then we offer sort of array of specialty sort of things. We have a program at Centerpointe called SOAR. It's a grant-funded program designed to help folks of any age who are eligible apply for Social Security disability. And the goal of that grant, of that project, is to allow people to go through the process and be approved on the first time. Many of you may not realize, but applying for disability A is a really long process, and if you are mentally ill or disabled and have a large medical history. All that information has to be consolidated. It has to be submitted in a certain way by a certain person on a certain form. And in the state of Nebraska, there was like 60% of applicants, more than 60% of applicants were denied on the first time, and the same 60% were denied on the second and third application. So the goal of SOAR is to get those people who are disabled and need disability income to process through on the first time, and we've had about a 97% success rate in that program of getting people approved on their first application. So it's really been a great position, and it really is not just for Centerpointe, it's for the entire community. Anybody in Lincoln who needs help with that process can come to us and we can get that initiated. So that's sort of what we do.